What if your brand video wasn't a sizzle reel, but a short film people actually felt something from? In this episode, we're pulling back the curtain on one of our favorite projects yet, a handcrafted brand story from Nic Maude, the custom hat makers out of Franklin, Tennessee. We didn't just film cool B-roll, we built something emotional, documentary style, chef's table inspired. Because this isn't just about hats, it's about legacy, craft, and the belief that dreams are still possible. We'll show you the behind the scenes, the pivots, the missteps, and the magic it took to bring their story to life. This is the future of branding, and this is Home Team Episode 3.
All right, one of the things we wanted to work on were these brand stories, where we looked at the deeper kind of meaning and story behind brands that we like and love, and we started to look at ones even locally here in Nashville that we could tell their story in a different way and go, let's not just make a sizzle reel for your store or your retail experience, but actually create almost documentary styled piece of content that could live in multiple places, but tells the deeper meaning and story of this brand and why that brand matters beyond what products they sell, what products they make. And so, for example, we just finished one for Nic Maude, which I'm wearing the finished product, this incredible signature custom cowboy hat. And that's what they primarily do. They're custom hat makers. And so we wanted to go in and tell their story. They have a retail experience in Franklin, Tennessee. That's this, the spirit of the West meets like this soul of the South. I don't know, that might be their tagline or something to that nature. But we became friends with them because they kind of share a retail landscape with us here out in Franklin. And we wanted to tell their story. We wanted to look at it from a different angle and find out what kind of stories behind these hat makers that are making incredible hats for, some of them they're making them for great country music singers, different celebrities, but also just for the everyday person who wants to come in and get an incredible hat. But that's like the product. They have something deeper going on about pursuing dreams. We just finished that.
Yeah.
And that was a process. We also shot some social content for them as well, just to add to that because we were already in the store. Coop, kind of, where's your head at with that project right now? Because it was our first one, and
we shot it like 2 weeks into me joining.
I know you were thrown right in.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go.
Yeah,
and we had an idea of what we wanted, but not the. And we'll get into this, but like we didn't really have a storyline. Really, it was just kind of like.
We knew we wanted to like interview, and we wanted to be in the store and like show that, like, and like chef's table was kind of like the overall like inspo, as
because we wanted to figure out how can a brand show who they are without it being a sizzle reel, because you see like the constant like sizzle reel, like here
B-roll,
boom, boom, boom,
like
boom,
basically
boom, boom.
like B-roll, cool music, showing us at the store.
Yeah, exactly. Blah, blah, blah. But we wanted to figure out like, could we lean into a elevated experience that kind of brings you into kind of, I would say, the ambition of having a hat made by them, because they're not cheap hats. So it's not like the everyday person's always going to be able to afford them. That's fine, but it's I think my hope was like, can you fall in love with this brand even if you're not buying that product? Yeah. And I think we delivered on that. I think that actually happened, but I think that is also a little bit of the driving impetus of these brand stories we're doing.
Can we pull the motion of the vision and the dream of the brand out through storytelling to get you to be bought in?
Yeah, it almost felt like therapy.
Yeah.
We're asking them we're sitting across from them, asking them a bunch of questions and letting them kind of externally process or share out loud their journey. Yeah. And some of it was like wild, some of it was completely off topic, some of it was and it went all over, which is great. That's what the kind of therapy does. And so that kind of became the foundation for how we were gonna go and shoot, because we could have just gone in and just shot a bunch of really captivating B-roll, because it's really interesting stuff when you make a hat. It looks really compelling, as people can see. We'll link to that in this, but we'll also show some clips in this, that the B-roll and the imagery and the visual direction is so easy because their work is so compelling, and the shop is really cool looking, has a great aesthetic. But we wanted to go a little bit deeper with that and ask them those questions and sit with them.
Yeah. And so we brought them in here first, and we were just like, hey, come to our studio, we're going to shoot. And so that
even was a pivot too, because we were going to do mics like this. And then last minute we changed.
During the like 15 minutes before they walked in.
They didn't even think they were going to be on camera. They're like, wait, we got to change, we got to adjust.
Yeah. And so maybe that's, and that's just about learning curve for us.
All of us,
being our very first shoot outside of, just like regular podcasts that we had been shooting. And so we brought him in, and I really wanted to like kind of lean into that documentary style with even the lighting and the how we mic them. And yeah.
And then when we sat with them, we pivoted from them at a table.
Oh yeah.
With mics.
Yeah.
Because we weren't going to capture camera. We were going to just capture audio.
Yeah.
But then we pivoted last second, which kind of just, again, speaks to like the reality of like, we've got to be agile right now. Everybody's got to be willing to adjust and pivot. But then we pivoted to filming them. And I think that at the end, I think that really made a real big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
Being able to see their faces and like a lot of the mic drop moments in the brand story, like hit harder because you're seeing, their emotion and versus just like hearing the voiceover and it'd be constant B-roll, cutting back and forth to tights on their, close-ups and then going back into the shop. Like it just, you feel it way more when you're seeing the person actually talk versus just voiceover.
And what were you thinking when you were in the shop taking the actual, some of the close-ups? Like we also didn't give ourselves a shot list as much as we kind of like just wanted to flow organically with them making hats and see how it flowed and let them kind of, we shut the shop down and then we kind of just let them do their thing. And we recorded. What was some of, even for you, as we were thinking about the end result here, like, hey, we got this end result, this product that's going to drive people to, I think it's going to drive people to loyalty to Nic Maude, even if they never buy a hat, which I think is a really interesting way to look at telling a brand story. Can you drive them to loyalty to you without even ever buying a product from you? Which I think is very real, because like, I don't own a Rolex yet, but I absolutely have that loyalty to Rolex because of the way that they've done storytelling and the way it's been weaved over the years. So I think there's a real kind of opportunity for brands to think like that and go, can we actually leverage our story in such a way that we capture our customer before they're even ready to pay for it and before they're even at that stage of life to afford it?
Yeah. I think every aspect of whenever we were shooting in the shop, I wanted it to feel as if the customer was the camera. Like I didn't want anything staged. I didn't want anything cleaned up. I didn't want anything moved around just for the sake of like, oh, there's a camera crew in here. We want it to look. No, I was like, I want it to feel and look just like if you were making a hat right this second, not on camera. And so I just had them go through like the process of, if they walked into the shop that morning, just like normal, and they had the next hat to make. So, had each of them just like, singularly, pick up a hat that they needed to work on and start either sanding or sewing or steaming, and just wanted to make the whole process feel just like any other day.
And it just happens to be that their aesthetic isn't like sterile or like it's very creative. There's cactus plants next to the sanding machines. There's bandanas and pinned up pictures of cowboys. Like the whole vibe where they're making the hats is also, it fuels that energy of them making the hats. It's not like they go back to a warehouse. It used to be in a garage. That was part of their story. It used to be in a garage and you couldn't really see that process. You'd get a custom hat. They'd go back to their space, make it and go. But this is much more like, it feels like a bar. Like you can get a drink. Like it almost feels like they could be.
I wonder if that was intentional with,
I bet.
With how they,
I mean, we should have asked them that, but it definitely feels like that. Like when you sit up, there's stools, and it's rounded like a bar. There's a mirror like you're at a bar, but then all of their hat making stuff is there. So, and a person who orders a hat doesn't get that hat that day. There's a long wait time to get a hat made, as it takes, one, they've got to go through their orders, but two, it just takes time to pick. But that take time to pick and craft it, but you're still able to sit and watch them do it. Like looking at almost like a bakery, watching them make croissants and things like that. It's still so inviting. And I think that's kind of the angles you were taking. Like you even went outside. And you went like some of the windows.
Through the window. Even just like from.
That shot is it might be my favorite shot of the whole thing.
It is so good. Well, and I always, always try to find angles that one of my favorite shots is when she's standing at that same spot but I'm like underneath, and so you're
That
seeing
low shot.
yeah, and she's like standing on and so I'm always trying to find like, cool, interesting perspectives that like it's kind of like, not the obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think makes for it.
Yeah.
Like because we were doing it. It wasn't going to be a long documentary. It wasn't going to be an hour, 45 minutes. So we needed to capture all kinds of other things. We knew this was going to be condensed. We knew it was going to be short. We knew we were going to take from that, what was almost 45-minute conversation with them, and condense it down to
4 minutes.
4 minutes, which I think that's part of the process of like any kind of creative endeavors. Like you got this wide lane, then you're distilling it over time. I think there's a meme that's like, I start this and it sucks and I hate it. And then I think I'm the worst. Yeah. This is horrible. And then this ain't bad. Then dang, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's well, and we went through like probably 3 to 4 different versions of this video.
Yeah, we're like, actually we should cut that because it loses the plot, or the music's not right. Like that moment needs to be we need to pull the climactic moment.
It's got too much tension for too long.
Yeah,
like because I remember watching it initially and being like, oh my gosh, this is so good. There's tension building. I'm loving this. And then it kept tension. The tension kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. And I'm like, okay, no, we need to release. The tension needs to release way earlier, and we need to fix that. And so that understanding of the like how people are going to take that in. Also, obviously, you're not designing it by consensus, but you also are designing it for viewing and making sure that in those 6 minutes we take them somewhere.
Yeah.
And so with that, we did have to go through that.
Moment happens. Yeah. Like the way the feeling watching it as much as the sequence is like that was you were playing with so much of like, is it this moment? No, like, oh, what if we put a pause and then had like we'll get this. We're in that process of crafting the story and the edit, going, man, we didn't get any of those kind of shots. Oh, we didn't get any of that. Like thankfully we were right down the road, like the hall from them basically. So, and they're down for us to come back and just re-grab stuff. But in crafting a story that goes somewhere, it has emotion, that has a climactic moment, and lands where we want it to, being able to realize like, oh, we missed this type of shot. Or the funny part is in the shop tour video, as you guys will see, like, we shot all of that with the original B-roll from the brand story, and we were so focused on detailed shots of hat making. We never walked through the process of making a hat. We did that weeks later. And that's when we got the hat for Chris. The main thing they do.
And he's obviously very excited about it.
I'm very excited about it. We didn't do this for a hat, but it was like, I got one. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take a hat.
But that's just like, learning process for us.
Well, we also had a horrible moment. Like you shot and all the footage disappeared.
Yeah. There was. I have no idea.
Difficulties.
Again, thankfully they are right down the hallway.
Yeah.
But
we have no idea how that happened. It was like even to this day we're still like, wait a second, what happened?
I've never seen anything like this. I went and shot, and probably an hour's worth of B-roll just like never made it to the card, and keeps me up at night. Like every day. Now I'm like, I shoot a shot and I check and
you're like double checking everything. It's like now you got some PTSD from it.
I'm just gonna check real fast.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that I really liked about the finished product that I didn't anticipate at the beginning was the moment where I don't know if it's Nicole or Leah who says that at the end we just want people to know that dreams are still possible.
Yeah.
And you cut it. Like there's like a beautiful like frame where it like stops for a second and you see, I think it's Nicole, like she's sanding a hat and then it drops, that phrase drops right there. And for me, that goes, this is not about hat making. And again, it ties it all back to like, for me, why brand is so interesting, because it's this avenue to get some kind of message out that shapes how people think and live their lives. That at the end of the day, they're hoping that you leave with this sense of dreams are possible. And even when I had the hat fitting and they put it on and we did all the things and I said, I have tons of hats. I wear a hat every single day. but none of my hats have this story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, that's exactly why we love doing this, is because we love people being able to have a hat that tells a story.
Yeah.
And I'm going, that's it. If brands could even understand that if you don't think in that emotional resonance level, if you don't go down to like beyond our product, what is the message our product is an avenue for? You're missing a big path to loyalty. You're missing a big path to people buying into you, even if they never buy from you. They'll meet somebody who has resources, being money, and saying, you should get a custom hat made by Nic Maude.
Yeah.
They've never even had one made by Nic Maude, but they're deeply like in with them because they experienced that story. And now they're going, I'm going to be a messenger for you, even though I've never actually had that product myself. I have so many of those products. Like one of the colognes that I've bought when I haven't actually ever bought the Tom Ford Tobacco Vanilla. It's one of the best fragrances on the planet.
Absolutely.
I recommended it to someone because I smelled it one time and I said, hey, you should get Tobacco Vanilla Tom Ford. And that person, I bought a large bottle of it. And I'm going, yeah, because I became a catalyst for you to buy that, but I never even bought it myself. So I think that's part of what the magic of having that deep resonance is.
And it's the learning. The easiest route, and a lot of people get stuck in, is positioning their brand around features.
Yes.
Or
oh God, we could easily do a whole thing on that.
All,
Love it.
all day long, right? Like the
it.
feature set of it's pure rabbit felt.
Yeah.
It's like we could sell on feature set or functionality. But the great brands, the luxurious brands, talk about story and heritage and legacy and why. I mean, one of my favorite brands, and they're not known as the nicest watch brand, like what brought Shinola years ago to the market is they went back to we're made in Detroit, US made, like yes, they were quartz movements to start with, and now they do automatic stuff, but like it's that story resonated so well and elevated and filled a spot.
It was
in the market.
rebuilding a city.
Yeah, literally rebuilding.
They were like, their whole play was like, we are going to rebuild Detroit. Yeah. And we're going to bring watchmaking to Detroit to bring an American-made product to the front of this again.
Which is like that heritage in itself, or like Longines, which is one of the oldest watch brands ever, is they were like the original pilot watch in London, and like they like World War II pilots for them. Like it's
so cool.
Learning into that, not it keeps time or it's
like,
off. Like,
what's the difference between a Rolex and a Timex? Well, they technically do the same exact thing as a feature and a function.
Yeah,
they tell you the time.
Yeah, you unlike Patek has a Patek Philippe. We're gonna go down watches all day long, but Patek Philippe is you don't buy a Patek, you inherit a Patek. Oof. Like that's their positioning. Yeah. You look at automotive, like all these different brands. Like you can, when you look to buy a Honda, it's good gas mileage, it's reliable, heated seats, Apple CarPlay, flip all the way up to Bentley. No, it's a heritage brand. You feel this way. There's a story behind it. They walk you through speccing your car.
It says something about you.
Thing. Yeah, it says something about you specifically.
It's so funny because it's like, I love that you're saying that and bringing that in because my brother, when I told him that day, us three randomly, Joel showed us a Tesla because he knows that I'm interested in buying a Tesla or electric car at some point. And he's like, dude, there's this one available around the corner. We should go check it out. We randomly go check it out. I almost make a bad decision and get a Tesla at that moment, which I was not prepared for. But I tell my brother that I went and looked at it, and he's like, this is the funniest part, right? He doesn't diss the car at all. Yeah. He says, you cannot be that type of person.
Yeah,
that's what he says. He doesn't list the car. He doesn't say anything about it. He's like he associates Tesla with a type of person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're getting at when you're like,
that's what's held me back from a Tesla. And a lot of vehicles is like, I just don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy.
Like I love there's nothing against electric vehicles. Like,
yeah.
I have everybody who sold one who lives in Louisiana. He bought one. And he's like, people cut me off, flip me off. He's like, and he sold it, went back, and now he drives a 2500 truck again. Like he's like, I just couldn't be that guy anymore. Like
incredible.
It's so wild how brands have that identity for people, and that's positioning though. That's the power of that. Which one day we'll dive deeper into that. But I think that's the whole thing you're lining up with. Like you don't. What was that line? You don't purchase one, you inherit one.
Yeah, the Patek position. Yeah,
because that's even what they said about this hat. They told me. I think we got it on footage when they were putting it on. I don't know if we did capture this or not, but they were saying people get these hats because they also want to pass them down.
Yeah.
This is my grandfather's cowboy hat. This is my dad's cowboy hat. This is my dad's cowboy hat. He gave it to me. And in that moment, I then was tied into that story. I'm going, oh, my son Solomon's going to get this hat. Like, that's cool. And so
and I think
there's a different part.
It's cool too, like for them and their hat structure, like they do this style, they'll do traditional cowboy hats, they'll do like the customization of the shape and all that, and you get to pull in the influences if it's musicians you like or artists or movies.
Well,
themes.
she actually brought up a guy came in. And there was one of the Clint Eastwood movies, and they brought that as inspo, and so she like the way that the top was crafted because of how he had to grab it. Like she put that into the hat. Which is just speaks to
I forgot about that.
Which is they're great helping you cohesively come up with your story in the process of making your hat, so you're even more. Like this is your hat. Like and there's so much to that, from custom boots to anything that's fully custom to you. Like,
that signature feeling to it. She said when I started picking the crown on this side, the frame, you'll see there's like, it's called like a mule kick here, I think this is called. But the thing she was talking about was when I showed her the other flat brim pencil curled hats I have, she said, I can never get it like that. The crown, she was saying, I can never get it like that because that's just pressed by a machine. And it was just like, again, she was reminding me like, I'm making this with my hands. And it was again a moment where you're like, instead of it being I can't make it that perfect, it was, I'm not going to make, there's no way I could do that because that's made by a machine. I do it by my hands. And I'm like, okay, I don't care if it has any kind of distortion in any kind of shape or any kind of slight off variance because I know it's handcrafted. There's a difference.
And I think that's what we wanted to show, especially in the shop stuff, like how detailed and how much effort goes into doing what they do.
So I think we nailed it on the video. I think it's a really great end result for them. For us, they're super stoked on it. They're really excited about it and sharing it. They don't have anything like it. They've felt like no one's been able to capture what it is that they do and why they do it. So this is for them a huge win. And I like us kind of dissecting it and looking at it back as we work with other brands, kind of showcasing this is how we've thought about that. Just that little product we did for them. Just that little, we put a lot of thought into that little video.
Yeah, I think from this and the takeaways for next time is what we do differently. And like one big thing to me is sitting down and having that story conversation before we shoot it.
Yeah, super good.
So we can go back and go, that's an interesting story arc. How could we expand a little bit further? Is there a secondary location that we shoot at?
Exactly.
For like, because there's something those things we just kind of flew by the seat of our pants and created something awesome in the process.
But there's definitely some retroactive.
How do we retroactively go through that? It's from the inspirations of Chef's Table to Huck Berry's home tours or dirt, like all that kind of stuff that we love. Because these are. I mean, like you said it to Coop, like you've evolved from a videographer to a filmmaker. And these are to be cinematic films. These are short films, not marketing ads. Like
no, for sure.
Storytelling.
This isn't a quick content piece where you're in 60 seconds. You're like, cool, that was fun 60 seconds. This is much deeper. It's good. Love it. Well done, guys.
Cool.